My name is Thomas Reed. I'm 68 years old. I'm a red-haired man who's never without my blue and white plaid shirt, jeans, and work boots. And I've been a farmer all my life. I've seen birth, death, storms, droughts, and everything in between. I thought nothing could surprise me anymore. I was wrong. 3 months ago, on a cold February morning, my dog refused to leave the barn. Max, my faithful brown Labrador, stood at the barn door barking. Not his usual bark. This was different. Desperate. Urgent. Afraid. I called him. He didn't come. I walked toward him. He backed into the barn, still barking, looking at me with eyes that said, "Come." "Now, you need to see this." I stepped inside. The barn was dark, cold, smelling of hay and old wood. Max ran to the far corner, to the old storage room we never used anymore. He pawed at the door, whining. I opened it, and I froze. What I saw in that room changed everything I thought I knew about my life, my family, and the secrets that had been buried for 40 years. If stories about loyalty, mystery, and the incredible bond between humans and animals move you, then hit that like button and subscribe to Paws of History. Because sometimes our four-legged friends see what we're too blind to notice. Let me start from the beginning. I bought this farm 35 years ago, back in 1988. It was old, run down, but it had good land. 200 acres in rural Montana. My wife, Margaret, and I raised our 3 kids here. We grew wheat, corn, raised cattle. It was hard work, but honest work. Max came into my life 5 years ago, after Margaret passed. She died of cancer. It was slow, painful, and it broke me. For months, I couldn't function. The farm fell into disrepair. My kids, all grown and living in cities, worried about me. My daughter, Emma, brought Max. A puppy then. She said, "Dad, you need a reason to get up in the morning." She was right. Max saved me. He became my companion, my shadow, my friend. Max was smart. Smarter than any dog I'd ever had. He learned commands in days. He knew when I was sad and would rest his head on my lap. He knew when I was sick and wouldn't leave my side. He was more than a pet. He was family. The barn was the oldest structure on the property. Built in 1952, according to the county records. The previous owner, a man named William Hartley, had lived here for decades. He died in 1987, and his estate sold the property to me. I never knew much about him, just that he was a recluse. No family, no friends, just him and his land. The barn had always been strange. Cold, even in summer. Animals avoided certain corners. Margaret used to say it had bad energy. I laughed at her. I'm a practical man. I don't believe in ghosts or superstitions. But Max believed. Or rather, Max sensed something I couldn't. It started 3 months ago. Max began acting weird around the barn. He'd stand at the entrance, sniffing, ears up, tail stiff. Sometimes he'd bark at nothing. I checked for coyotes, raccoons, anything that might explain it. Nothing. Then one morning, he refused to come inside for breakfast. I found him sitting at the barn door, staring. Just staring. "Max, come on, boy. Breakfast." He didn't move. He barked once. Sharp. Commanding. I sighed, grabbed my jacket, and followed him. He led me inside, past the hay bales, past the old tractor, to the storage room in the back. A room I'd barely opened in 35 years. It was full of junk from the previous owner. Old furniture, boxes, useless things I'd meant to throw out, but never got around to. Max pawed at the door. I opened it. He ran inside, sniffing frantically. He stopped at a corner, under a pile of old blankets and wooden crates. He started digging. "Max, stop. You're making a mess." But he didn't stop. He dug harder, faster, whining. And then I saw it. His paw hit something solid. Something metal. I pulled him back, moved the crates, lifted the blankets. There, embedded in the dirt floor, was a metal handle. A trapdoor. My heart pounded. A trapdoor? In my barn. For 35 years, I'd walked over this floor and never knew. I pulled the handle. It was heavy, rusted, but it opened. Below was darkness. A ladder leading down into a cellar I never knew existed. I grabbed a flashlight from my truck. Max barked, but but he didn't follow me down. He stayed at the top, watching as if guarding. I descended the ladder. The air was cold, damp, stale. The cellar was small, maybe 10 by 10 feet. Stone walls, dirt floor, and in the corner a box. A wooden box, old, covered in dust. I opened it. Inside were papers. Dozens of them. Letters. Documents. Photos. And as I read them, my blood turned cold. The letters were dated from 1975 to 1987. They were written by William Hartley, the previous owner. But they weren't just any letters. They were confessions. William Hartley had a daughter. Her name was Rebecca. She was 16 years old when she disappeared in 1975. The town believed she ran away. A rebellious girl, they said, wanted to escape small-town life. The police searched for a few weeks, then closed the case. Runaway. Case closed. But she didn't run away. William killed her. The letters detailed everything. How she defied him. How she wanted to leave the farm, go to college, live her own life. How he couldn't accept it. How, in a fit of rage, he struck her. How she fell, hit her head, and died. He buried her. In the woods. Behind the barn. Under an old oak tree. For 12 years, he lived with that secret. He wrote letters to her, as if she were still alive. Apologizing. Begging for forgiveness. Descending into madness. In 1987, terminally ill with cancer, he sealed the letters in the box, hid them in the cellar, and covered it. He died weeks later. The secret died with him. Or so he thought. But Max found it. 40 years later, a dog uncovered the truth that a man tried to bury forever. I climbed out of the cellar, shaking. Max sat there, tail wagging slightly as if to say, "I did good, right?" I called the police. I showed them the letters. They came with ground-penetrating radar and cadaver dogs. 3 days later, they found her. Rebecca Hartley, 16 years old, buried under the oak tree, exactly where the letters said. The town was in shock. People who remembered her, now in their 60s and 70s, wept. Her friends, who had spent 40 years wondering what happened to her, finally had answers. Rebecca's mother had died in 1982, never knowing what happened to her daughter. But Rebecca had a younger brother, Daniel. He was 11 when she disappeared. Now 59, living in Seattle. I called him. It was the hardest phone call I've ever made. "Mr. Hartley, my name is Thomas Reed. I live on your father's old farm, and I have something to tell you about your sister." He listened in silence. When I finished, he cried. Not angry cries. Relieved cries. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you for giving her back to me." Rebecca Hartley was buried properly. A funeral 40 years late. Daniel came, along with her childhood friends, teachers, people who never forgot her. The town built a small memorial in her honor. A plaque under the oak tree, Rebecca Hartley, 1959 to 1975. Forever remembered. Max attended the funeral. He sat quietly beside me, as if he understood. People thanked him. They petted him, called him a hero. He just wagged his tail, humble as always. Daniel stayed with me for a week. We talked. He told me about Rebecca, how she loved to read, how she dreamed of becoming a teacher, how she was kind and stubborn and full of life. She would have loved this farm, he said, looking out at the fields. She always wanted space. Freedom. Irony, isn't it? She died trying to get it. Before he left, Daniel gave me something. A photo of Rebecca. She was smiling, holding a puppy. She loved dogs, he said. More than anything. I put the photo in my living room, next to Margaret's. Two women I never knew, but will never forget. As for Max, he never went back to that barn corner. His job was done. He'd found what needed to be found. People ask me, how did Max know? How did a dog sense something buried for 40 years, under concrete and dirt? I don't know. Maybe dogs can smell death, even old death. Maybe Max sensed something wrong, something out of place. Or maybe, just maybe, Rebecca wanted to be found. And Max was the one who listened. I believe animals know things we don't. They see beyond our limited perception. They sense truths we ignore. Max didn't just find a body. He gave a girl her name back. He gave a brother closure. He gave a town peace. The moral: I learned something from all this. We think we know our land, our homes, our lives. But beneath the surface, there are always secrets. Stories buried, truths hidden, voices silenced. And sometimes it takes an innocent creature, a loyal dog, to dig up what we're too afraid to face. Max taught me that loyalty isn't just about companionship. It's about justice. It's about not giving up, even when everyone else has. It's about barking at the darkness until someone listens. Rebecca Hartley spent 40 years forgotten. But because of a dog, she's remembered now. Because of Max, her story was told. Her truth was heard. And that's the lesson. The truth always finds a way. Even if it takes 40 years. Even if it takes a dog. Max is lying beside me now, asleep, dreaming. His paws twitch. Maybe he's running through fields. Maybe he's chasing rabbits. Or maybe, just maybe, he's playing with a 16-year-old girl who finally found peace. I'll never know, but I'll always be grateful. Because when his dog refused to leave the barn, this farmer looked inside. And what he found wasn't just a body. It was a reminder that every life matters. Every story deserves to be told. And sometimes the most important truths are found by those who never stop searching. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that animals are more than pets, they're heroes, protectors, truth seekers, then hit that like button and subscribe to Paws of History. Because every animal has a story, and every story deserves to be heard. Thank you for listening, and thank Max, because he's the real hero here.
Paws of History, because every story leaves a paw print, and its memories stay with us forever.